Alright guys, what is going on today? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm talking about chapter 60 of the Boruto manga. Now this video is a bit short. I'm gonna go over a couple of things. Now if you guys read this chapter, it's more of a talkative chapter, more of a backstory. There's not much action or anything. So if you guys seen the chapter, I want to talk about the beginning when Shikamaru is talking to Sai about the threat of Code and everything. They've seen his little belt things around the village, and Shikamaru's not sure if it's a decoy or not. That just goes to show how smart Shikamaru is. He wants to see how Code is playing around. Looking at that scene, it does look like the threat of the villages getting annihilated is upon them. The threat is imminent to all the villages, including the Hidden Leaf, because Shikamaru and Sai said that those bands are all around each villages and on the outer walls and outer sides of it. That means Code uses them to get in and out of the villages without being detected, as the Hidden Leaf village has the sensory team that can detect chakra, whoever comes in and out. So if Code has that, he'll probably attack soon. Then after the destruction of the Hidden Leaf, it's going to be a Kawaki retrieval arc, like how Sasuke's retrieval arc is going to go down. That's how I see that scene, because if they're saying the threat's here and they're finally building up to the point of how the villages got destroyed, as we've seen back in episode 1 and chapter 1, something serious is here. All right, so I think they're going to destroy the villages, and maybe in the next 10-15 chapters at most after the time skip. The reason I'm saying that about Kawaki disappearing or Kawaki going rogue is due to the next part, when Kawaki is like, I don't fit into this village. It doesn't seem right to him. It looks like this chapter is finally foreshadowing it, because if you look at the beginning chapters, it's slowly building up to the point of how the Hidden Leaf gets destroyed. The second part I want to talk about is with Code, Ida, and Damon. Now this part here, as I stated in my last video, Damon is not showing his full abilities, nor is Ida. As I stated in the last review for chapter 59, I said that Ida was hiding Damon's abilities and she wasn't explaining fully what his abilities are. As Code says, these are my abilities, Damon's like, all right, here are my abilities. And then Ida's like, shh. She tells him to be quiet and not tell Code any of his abilities. And then Damon's like, I'm sorry, I can't tell you. Then Ida tells Code, she's like, I don't mean no offense or anything, but she's like, I don't trust you fully yet. I just met you. I can't tell you all my secrets. And then Code says, you probably have more powers or something else you're hiding, aren't you? She's like, who knows? So I think Ida there is hiding something that she doesn't want to tell Code. And like I said, same thing goes with Damon. Damon is something special, and his attacks activate automatically. So when Code attacked him, the intent went right back at Code. That means Code was seeing on how Damon's ability gets activated. Does it get activated unconsciously or is it willingly? And it looks like it's unconsciously. But yeah, looking at that scene, it looks like Damon and Ida both have more powers that Code doesn't know about. And looking at it, I think Ida might betray Code in the future. As I explained last chapter as well, when she first shown Damon, I could tell by the eyes that she did not want to summon Damon. She knew about Damon, but it looks like he has a troublesome ability. So looking at that scene, it looks like she knew something about Damon that is not normal. Damon's abilities are too overpowered that they can't be controlled, something along those lines. Damon looks like a little brat, and I think he's gonna change. I feel like they're gonna plan Damon with Himawari. That's what I think, because of the same age group type thing, and how she might be able to convert somebody evil to good. I mean, we'll see what happens, but it looks like from that scene that they're just planning up their squad right now. So the attack is not gonna happen yet, maybe in the next few chapters, because like I said, these chapters are more talking. So getting on to the next part is Amato and Sumire. Now this takes place right after last chapter. As you've seen in this chapter, Sumire is talking to Amato and she's like, what are you plotting? And he's like, I don't want to discuss this with you, I'll discuss it with Kawaki. And then she looks to her left, and like I said, look at the eyes again. She's really worried about Kawaki and what Amato is doing. Her eyes are giving off that vibe. She looks at the container, which has a cyborg or some shit in it, and Amato's like, this is a powerful ally to the Hidden Leaf. And he's like, I have no means to desert the Hidden Leaf or do anything against it. So we gotta see how Amato plays this out, because we don't know what Amato's intentions are, if he's evil, if he's bad, along those lines. Like I said, I predicted that Amato might use Kawaki or his karma to remake his daughter. He's gonna implant his daughter's DNA or whatever into Kawaki and make him a vessel of her karma. If she's the Otsutsuki, we're not 100% sure. So Amato possesses some next technology that we've never seen in the Naruto verse ever. So it's something is suspect about this guy. So then getting on to the last scene of Kawaki. Now Kawaki kind of ran away because he didn't want to eat Hinata's cooking, I guess, in a way. But at the same time, he feels like he doesn't fit in. As he went to the convenience store, he tried getting a drink and people were kind of whispering behind him. Then he has a flashback of Shikadai saying people are starting rumors, this and that. And then you have Kawaki thinking, I don't really fit into this village or anything. And then he goes on top of the stone faces and he sits there and watches the village. And then you see Naruto come. Naruto's like, oh, so you're up here having a rice ball in water. And he's like, I like sitting up here. It's really relaxing. You see the view of the whole village and everything. So then you see Naruto carry Kawaki home. He's like, don't be stupid. Come home. You're always loved. Everything. He's like, you're part of this family now. The way Kawaki mentions in that scene that the village looks so nice. He sees the high up view. I think they're foreshadowing to episode 1 and chapter 1 again. And like I said in previous chapters, every time you see Naruto, Boruto, or Kawaki on the stone face, there's something being foreshadowed there. As Kawaki looks at the Hokage faces in the previous ending, it goes on from there. Even during the show, he looks at the Hokage faces. I think they're showing something that Kawaki will do something to destroy the village. Because Kawaki says, I will protect the Hidden Leaf Village. It's an area where everyone's free. Then back at the Uzumaki house, you see Boruto and them all having dinner, and Boruto gives Kawaki his headband. Now, this part is really important because when Kawaki takes the headband, he starts thinking and all that sort of stuff. And he talks to Naruto, and Naruto's like, the Hidden Leaf is a place for anyone to stay. He's like, if you can't stay here, then he's like, I failed my job as Hokage because the Hidden Leaf is supposed to be a peaceful village. Now, this scene here is really important because of the way they give the next panel of Boruto. Boruto looks at his karma. Now, if you look at the scenes carefully, there was no need to put that scene in there unless there's a meaning behind it. Because when Naruto's like, if no one can live here peacefully, regardless of what it is or what you are, he's like, I failed my job as Hokage. And then he cuts out to Boruto looking at his karma and looking at the pills, and Boruto debating life. Kawaki's like, I don't mean to be a burden of you guys or anything, and Naruto's like, you're not a burden. He's like, you're part of this family and you're with us. He's like, you can stay with us as long as you like. So Kawaki was trying to say that he'll leave the family, but it looks like Boruto might be the one that might leave the Uzumaki household and the Hidden Leaf Village. Looking at that panel, Boruto looks at his hand and his pills, and he sees karma kind of shining. It's kind of saying something that Boruto doesn't fit into the village, and if Boruto leaves or something along those lines, that means Naruto did fail his job as Hokage. That's why they gave that scene with Boruto. Naruto saying everyone's welcomed and all that sort of stuff. So that's why I mean that scene's important. They're foreshadowing that Boruto possibly could leave the village or go against Naruto's character, saying that he failed, and that might add more story, more character depth to both of the characters, because Naruto is teaching Kawaki about family and all that sort of stuff. Dominic Toretto, remember, family can solve everything. Anyways, Naruto is teaching Kawaki about all the family stuff, everything along those lines, and so them putting Boruto in that scene, like I said, they're giving off something that something will happen to Boruto in the next chapters, and like I said, I think he will leave the village. It doesn't look like it right now, but I think it's adding up to that point, because the way Boruto looks so worried, because Boruto's like, I've been taking 2 pills a day for the past week, because it's already been a week since he started taking the pills. There's something going on with Boruto's mind and him looking at his karma. Boruto is scared for his life, and I think he will leave the village. That means Naruto will have failed his job as Hokage, which may lead to Naruto being, crazy in the future, or he may be lost in the future. As I stated a little while ago, back in opening 7, I believe, I said that Boruto and Kawaki are going to switch places, because looking at that opening, you see Boruto's looking down after the village gets destroyed, after he uses the rainbow Rasengan, and you see Kawaki walk up to him, and Boruto looks at him so sad, and Boruto walks away at the ending with the crows, which I think references to Itachi, him going rogue, protecting the village from the sidelines, from the shadows, and you see an older version of himself. I think they're giving an idea here that something will happen to Boruto and he will end up leaving the village. So this is what I think of chapter 60. Thanks for watching. Please comment, like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos to come.